Ladies and gentlemen, you welcome to this news on Equinoxe Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, we talk about political party leaders converge on the country's economic capital, Douala, to stamp out hate speech and other unorthodox content in political discourse and speeches scattered by the administration. They were dispersed by the divisional officer for Douala for subdivision. They were convened by the Friedrich Ebert Foundation to take part in a training. We're also going to show you the heavily dusted nature of the National Road number 5. Commuters are suffering because of the dust emanating from the bad state of the roads. We begin this newscast on National Road number 5. It is one of the roads in the country in a very bad state, and it should be noted that this is a problem running across the Republic of Cameroon from the major cities to the hinterlands. Many of the roads are in a very deplorable state of dilapidation, and users of National Road number 5 are suffering the consequences of the bad state of the roads. Details with Smanjik and Gabriel.
A terrible nightmare for those plying the Bafusam Babajo Bamenda Highway, which is on the National Road number 5. With the absence of rain, dust is the talk of the day as inhabitants go through hell.
Maybe the promise that can perhaps say I should travel to Bamenda in dust, in muddy road, in galloping road. Why? Why is the work accepted the name without doing it? He has been a president as his kind.
These inhabitants say the country has lost its pride.
How is it ruling? If it's ruling other provinces and as excrements and piggeries, his comments should be what?
The students who use the road every time to go to school are not spared from the ordeal of the other road users as they are soaked in dust. As a result of the dust, the people have been forced to stick to their face mask, which was initially meant for the COVID-19 outbreak. We've profited from the outbreak of COVID-19 to also use face mask and stay safe from the dust alongside other illnesses.
N'importe où nous partons pour essayer d'éviter les maladies.
Even at that, they are not spared from illnesses as they eat food exposed to dust, particularly at Bangang, which is another road used by vehicles. Notwithstanding the nature of the road, some people are hopeful that the roads will be rehabilitated. We remain optimistic because we know there is a road passing and it will be done, even though we are suffering from the dust which has followed us right up to our rooms. It's now difficult to even dry dresses outside. The cry of the population is for the rains to start soon so as to remove the dust that has taken hostage of the major roads in the West region.
And another problem making life difficult for citizens or all other persons in the Republic of Cameroon, almost everywhere across the country, is inadequate potable water supply. And we're taking you to the noon division where the people are saying that their health is at risk as a result of this situation of inadequate potable water supply. Immaculate Fogwe has more.
These children risk being infected with waterborne diseases. This is because access to potable water remains a veritable nightmare in Demayu, a locality in the Noon Division, West region of Cameroon. Most of the villagers now rely on doubtful sources putting their lives at risk. Our major problem is that access to potable water is limited. We need to cover very long distances just to have the precious liquid.
Les gens souffrent beaucoup de la typhoïde.
A good number of the population living in Demayo are suffering with typhoid and other related waterborne diseases. Lots of teenagers have been hospitalized because of the situation, and their parents cannot afford paying their hospital bill.
Qui ont besoin d'eau potable.
In order to prevent an upsurge of waterborne diseases in the town, a non-governmental organization offers a borehole in the locality. 700 children die every day in sub-Saharan Africa due to waterborne diseases. This offer will go a long way to help the local population. A sigh of relief for the population of Demayo. They will, however, implore other persons of goodwill and associations to copy the example.
Efforts of Friedrich Ebert Foundation to stamp out hate speech and other unorthodox content in political speech in the Republic of Cameroon is frustrated by the administration. The organization brought together a good number of political leaders from the Social Democratic Front and the CRM, the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, political parties here in Douala to discuss these issues and see how to cleanse or better still enhance the quality of political speech in the country by taking away hateful content. But that training was disrupted by the divisional officer of the Douala 4 subdivision, who says that they had no authorization to organize that meeting in the Douala 4 subdivision. Details in this report compiled by Malak Glory.
The supporters of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM political party, and those of Social Democratic Front, SDF, were stranded this Tuesday in Bunaberi neighborhood of the Douala 4 district.
Then when we arrived and entered in the hall, the SD came out and said that we should go out. All of us have to go out. We don't have a time to try to understand what is happening, but just take our bags.
This comes after an interruption of a 3-day training on political communication organized by the Friedrich Ebert Foundation. Unfortunately for the participants who were already present at the seminar, were being halted by the divisional officer who stormed the hall to stop every activity. To him, there was no official declaration for such a gathering.
Friedrich Ebert Foundation organized a seminar on political communication, on ways to communicate politically. Unfortunately, and against all expectations, when we took our breakfast and were getting into the conference hall for the seminar proper to be launched, the DO just stumbled in with a lot of force and arrogance, speaking to us very rudely and telling us that we're not supposed to hold this seminar.
According to the organizers, a German foundation based in Yaoundé, the objective of such training is to promote democracy in the world.
The main work of Friedrich Ebert, it is to promote democracy in the world. Since 1925, we are only give some techniques or some skills to communicators to improve the language on the media. We want to solve this problem, to give some skills to improve and construct some confidence between citizens and politicians.
After hours of exchange between the DO and the organizers, the divisional officer held on to the fact that a declaration must be written, which it was done according to the SDF communicator. But unfortunately, they were given 48 hours for a reply.
Surprisingly, again, they said they had to wait for 48 hours. So you see, all this was just to frustrate the effort. I cannot even say some of the things that some of the administrative authorities, the DO, said because it's not good for public hearing.
Members of the Frederick Ebert Foundation say they wish to build a free and democratic society, so call on the government to support this initiative.
Now to Tokomberi in the far north region of the Republic of Cameroon, Immaculate Fogwe takes a look at challenges faced by young people in that municipality, and latest information reaching us indicate that many of the young people who joined the ranks of the Boko Haram terrorist sect, because of some of those difficulties and other reasons, have returned to the normal life train, have repented, have abandoned the ranks of the terrorist organization. But many are still threatened. Many are still looking up to that direction because of those difficulties that they are facing. Immaculate Fogwe has more.
Town of Tokomberi in the far north region is plagued with several developmental challenges ranging from insufficient potable water, poor road network, high rate of unemployment and limited lodging facilities. With close to 92,000 inhabitants, the population say their town is far from experiencing emergence. We do not have the means to further our education. Lodging is equally another big problem for students in Tokomberi. The committee will be of great help to us, the youths and the community in general. In the midst of these adversities, the sons and daughters of the town gathered to relaunch their development committee in order to ease the development of the area. In the course of that meeting, the sum of 4 million francs CFA was raised by elites of Tokomberi. It's often said, when we are united, we can do better things. This meeting can bear fruits in Tokomberi. We have several elites who can do something to help the community. The Director of Cabinet of the National Assembly, Abdurrahim Bukar, representing the Speaker of the National Assembly, urged the members of the committee to work for the development of the locality. The young people equally urged their elites to set aside their political differences and work together for the betterment of Tokomberi.
Now in news out of the Republic of Cameroon, Burkina Faso's military leader, notably the one who led the coup d'etat, Paul-Henri Damiba, was sworn in as president earlier today, weeks after leading a successful coup, and he promised to deal with the mounting insecurity that helped oust his predecessor, President Marc-Christian Kabore. Damiba led a military junta that on January 24 overthrew President Roch Marc-Christian Kabore, citing Kabore's inability to curb an Islamist insurgency that has killed thousands of people and forced more than 1 million people to flee their homes in the West African country. And the Lieutenant Colonel, who had little public profile before he appeared on state television last month to announce the takeover, opened his speech at Wednesday's ceremony in the country's capital, Ouagadougou, with a moment of silence for the civilians and soldiers killed in the fight against militants. And the Lieutenant Colonel said that he will reorganize the armed forces to strengthen the link between the intelligence service and field operations, and will make logistical support for flexibility. He also pledged to fight corruption and depoliticize the public administration. Damiba has not said how long he plans to hold power, but has promised to work with the regional bloc, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, towards a return to democratic elections. The military coup in Burkina Faso followed takeovers in Mali, Guinea, and Chad since 2020, raising fears of coup contagions among the regional leaders. And this is where we end the first part of this newscast. In Talking Point, meet the National Communication Officer of the Social Democratic Front, a leader of the Friedrich Ebert Foundation, one of the trainers who took part in the workshop that was interrupted today by administrative authorities, notably the division officer of Douala 4, and of course one of the members of the social, or rather the Cameroon Renaissance Movement CRM political party, who spoke to us, and they're giving us greater details on what exactly happened today and the appraisal of the reaction of the administration to this training workshop that was organized by Friedrich Ebert Foundation to discuss with political leaders on political communication.
Well, we organized, the Friedrich Ebert Foundation organized a seminar on political communication, on ways to communicate politically. And it was a very good seminar with a lot of enriching themes. And we came from all over. We invited, we asked for that assistance in communication, providing the logistics for that training. We were very happy that they accepted, and they asked us to invite our communicators, which we invited from all over the country. We have people here from the far north, from the northwest, from the southwest, from littoral, center, southeast, who have come from all over the country for this training, which is very important, not just for the SDF, but for Cameroon politics, because it's very important that people who communicate political messages know how to communicate them in order to enlighten the population, because one of the roles of political parties is political education, and communication in political education is very important. So this seminar was not just very important for the Social Democratic Front, it was also important for the rest of Cameroonians. Unfortunately, and against all expectations, when we took our breakfast and were getting into the conference hall for the seminar proper to be launched, the DIO just stumbled in with a lot of force and arrogance, speaking to us very rudely and telling us that we're not supposed to hold this seminar. We were very, very shocked and surprised. They first of all were accusing the Social Democratic Front for having a seminar without having declared, as the law says. But we were quick to remind her that we were not the organizers of this seminar. It's the Friedrich Ebert Foundation. And Friedrich Ebert Foundation, I explained to them that they have a convention with the Cameroon government that permits them to organize such events without asking for any authorization or declaration. They had insisted, and this argument had happened before, they insisted that they wanted to see that declaration, which the Friedrich Ebert Foundation provided it to them. But to the surprise of everybody, they came in and said the seminar will not hold. And that if he has to hold, you have to write a declaration informing the authorities that the seminar have to hold. And that they just needed that, nothing else. So when the delegation went with them and said, okay, before people were already around, if that is what it takes for the seminar to be held, they write that declaration, and they wrote, surprisingly again, they said they have to wait for 48 hours. So you see, all this was just to frustrate the effort. I cannot even say some of the things that some of the administrative authorities, the DIO, said, because it's not good for public hearing. Yes, it's not good for public hearing coming from an official of that stature. So we just said, okay, we have decided to hold on. The seminar is not holding. It will be reprogrammed. Make sure that all the legal procedures will be put in place to make sure that nobody will be able to block this seminar, because there is no law in Cameroon that forbids the holding of seminars that train political communicators or communicators in political communication.
Déclaration formelle. Vous savez, le texte de 1990 est un peu muet sur les formes de déclaration, mais le simple fait que les autorités administratives, sous-préfets, gendarmes, policiers étaient sur le terrain montre qu'ils avaient l'information. L'information est partie de je ne sais où, mais ils avaient l'information. Et avoir l'information pour une réunion, une formation qui n'a rien d'autre dont les TDS sont visibles, je pense qu'il y a même une jurisprudence. Si vous allez dans vos questionner la jurisprudence sur la déclaration des manifestations publiques, vous allez voir le cas Jean Bosco Tala, le journal Germinal, qui a eu gain de cause, si mes souvenirs sont bons, en 2000, toujours sur des questions de manifestation, et il avait été...
What happens today at DK Hotel in Bonaberi in Douala is a call for concern, because we understand that communicants or communicators from the two different political parties, notably the Cameroon Renaissance Movement and the SDF, were invited for a 3 days workshop to begin from the 16th to the 18th. And this 3-day workshop based on the theme Political Communication was organized by the Frederick Hebert Foundation. Now, what is so surprising is that at the time we arrived the venue, of course, some other participants from far north, south, east regions equally arrived a day before, that's yesterday. And on arriving today in the morning, we were surprised that we got first the visit of gendarmes, the visit of police, security forces, followed by the divisional officer for Bona, that is for Douala 4 subdivision, who came in, and it was first of all a hostile nature. He came into the hall and ordered us to leave the hall within 10 minutes as we will be arrested. Now, starting to know what was the issue, according to him, we were supposed to have come to get authorization for the training workshop. But then we were also taken aback because we understand that the workshop was organized by Frederick Hebert Foundation. That's a German organization, which means that no matter what is transpiring, they were supposed to sort it first out with these organizations. And we understand that Frederick Hebert Foundation has an official working relation with Cameroon. They have been training Cameroon and various stakeholders in the fields of emulating democratic principles in the country. So we do not see it looking illegal because we don't see they themselves being illegal. Frederick Hebert Foundation is a legal institution in the diplomatic service working in Cameroon, just like the Cameroon Renaissance Movement and likewise the SDF. So we were taken aback when we made the deal in that kind of tone. Then efforts, however, to get to them to put things in order so that we could proceed right up to 1 p.m. was not giving us any fulfillment. We're also surprised that around 2:33, we got now a service note signed by the DO saying that a meeting or workshop that was to be organized or was taking place in the Bonaberi by some political parties is said to have been banned. So first of all, the address from the DO itself is wrong because we did not come to Douala on our own accord. That is CRM and SDF. We came under the invitation of Frederick Hebert Foundation. Now, if you look at the communique coming from the DO's office at the Douala 4, it tells you that the target was the political parties and not even the organizers of the said event. So we look at it, we understand that the government itself is selling the rope or selling the goat.
You listen there to Denis Kemlemo, National Communications Secretary of the Social Democratic Front, PNK, trainer of Friedrich Hebert Foundation, and Tayon Elvis, member of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement, CRM political party. And that's it for today. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye.